Well, hey there, my friends. Welcome to my channel, Ink and Whimsy. I'm Laura Daniels, and I always love it when we get to spend a little bit of time together. We're going to be using the kit from Not Just for Boys Kit Club for July, and it's called Sunny Escapes. And it has, well, when you see the variety of the different spreads I'm going to be able to create from this kit, you're going to fall in love with it. Today, we're going to be documenting a very old photos, a set of three that I have of our children back in, boy, 2001, I believe. I'm going to have to check that date. But you know, there's some of those old photos that we took before we had cell phones that took great photos, right? Okay. So let me show you a little bit of what's in this kit. These are some of the embellishments we're going to be using. Look at these right here. Aren't those just stunning? They make me think of sea glass in the ocean. We're going to be doing some tags. We're going to use this twine from the kit. We're going to be doing some faux stitching, which is always fun. And it's 2001. I already have my journaling. I emphasized the year in this. Here's some more pieces of ephemera, little signs. We're going to do some stamping with a fun stamp set that was just released by Not Just for Boys Kit Club. And Merity designs these stamps, and they stamp so clearly. You're going to love them. And I'll have a little bit more to show you with that as soon as we get into the actual scrapbook page. And this is not this, not the starfish. These right here, look at these. These come in the Limitless kit, and they are fabric, but they're real thin. You can tell I've done some stamping. Look at that. Okay, anyways, these are going to be in our layout, which I'm real excited about. So let's set these aside right over here. This is the set of Luna Alpha puffy stickers we're going to be using from Bella Boulevard. This is called Bell Pepper. What a fun name. And we're going to be using these three different oxide inks: Mowed Lawn, Tea Dye, and Spiced Marmalade. And below, you can see some of the beautiful pieces of cardstock we're going to be using. And then look at the flip side, because remember I mentioned the variety of layouts I'm going to be doing with this. So I'm real excited to share it with you. All right, let's move this aside and let's get started. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you the pieces. Oh gosh, I know y'all love this. I love this. Makes me think of the beach right there. These are the scraps we're going to be using to create the layout. And here are the photos. They're they're great photos. They're not the best photos, but they're the photos. So we're scrapbooking the photos that I have. So we're going to set these aside. That's of my son Dwayne, my daughter Lauren, and we're going to get started with this right here. So let's kind of get organized. I want this up top, and then we have two. This piece is going to go along the bottom. And I'm going to put this underneath it. Now this is, if you look at the large 12 by 12 piece, it is directional flight patterns, but we're pretending it's part of the ocean and the seaside. So one must use their imagination when you scrapbook with me. All right, let's see. We want this down on the bottom. And then we're going to put this in the middle. Nope, this is going to have photos on it. And then we're putting this up top. So I think what we're going to do is put this. This is going to go right here. And this will go underneath. So this is the general layout right here. And I'm thinking what I want to do first is to lay this piece down. And then we'll lay this on top. That's how we're going to do it. I have made up my mind. You know how I am with this layering stuff. It either goes real good or it goes real bad. And I have found when I hold down the piece of paper, I can be a lot steadier with my glue. And I always keep my glue in this thing. It is the coolest thing because it keeps the glue at the tip and it is ready for you. All right, so let's set this down. You know how a lot of times you go to use a glue in a bottle, and then it doesn't come out. That is so frustrating. All right, so let's take this one, and we're going to set it on top where there is just a little bit of that sea ocean paper showing to give us the feel of the ocean side. All right, so it's going to go about right here. And this is a single page layout. Those are always fun. But you know, these are the only photos I had. So it has to be single. As good as I am and as creative as I am, which I'm not, I don't think I could have made a double page layout with 3 photos. Because I don't even have a lot of journaling. You know why? Because it was 2001 and Laura did not keep a journal. Oh my gosh. The things I wish I had done. Let's make sure this is even, Laura, because I'm talking. That looks good right there. Now let's get the top side done. And yeah, I think that's the way I want to do it. So we're going to lay this down first. And this had the prettiest tags on the back. I did use a couple of them in this layout. So do you have old photos of your children? And they were much younger, and that you want to scrapbook them, and you know, you look at them and you're thinking, oh, I do, but they're not the best of photos. But you know what you have to keep in mind? They are your photos and it's your memories. You're not sending it off to scrapbook.com. Isn't that right? Yeah, I know where I want to put it. So scrapbook the photos and tell what little bit of the story you remember, because at least your kids will be able to see the photos. And you know, I was having a conversation with I've already forgotten it. How did I forget it so soon? Right here. I was having a conversation with my daughter because I was sending her yet another photo, and it was when they had gone hiking with their friends to Yosemite. And I was asking her, I had the 3 of them in the text, right? Asking all 3 of them, well, what year was it? What month was it? Oh my gosh, you would think they were all in their 80s trying to remember. She writes back to me in a text. She goes, Mom, it was 8 years ago. I read the text. I just started cracking up. I go, yeah, well, wait till you're 63 and you're trying to remember, you know, 45 years ago, 30 years ago. Oh my gosh, the struggle is real. And that's why all of us scrapbookers here are trying to remember all this stuff, aren't we? Yes. All right. Okay. Let's do the first couple of photos. And she did the laughing emoji back. That's what she did. All right. I want to go around the sides of these photos with some tea dye. And my friend Merity taught me this, which is the coolest thing, a little piece of Velcro. And you stick it on the back. That way you always have that color with this distressed oxide. And we're going to put it on. Easy peasy. I know. It's the simple things in life. Let's just get this a little darker. Make sure my hands are clean. Lauren was known as the bow girl until she decided she didn't want to have bows in her hair anymore. You know how that is when you have children. But she always looks so adorable. No, she does not wear bows in her hair anymore. She is, let's see, 31. I'm not going to try to do the math with all you listening. Won't happen. All right, here we go. Let's get this one. This is when we were in the Navy and we were stationed in Chesapeake, Virginia. Did I do the bottom? Nope. It's just to give it a little bit of color. Now we're going to put these down there. And we had gone, you know, when your children are younger, those play dates are so important and they're so much fun for the sanity of the moms, and for the kids. To give everyone a chance to get outside, get some fresh air, and the moms get to talk with adults. Here we go. These are down. This is going to go right here. Now I want to go around this photo before we even lay it down. So we had gone to Virginia Beach for the afternoon, but it wasn't summertime. It was April, but boy, it was warm enough. I remember it being a very hazy overcast, but it was probably good because then the sun wasn't beating down on us. Oh, the kids had so much fun. Just playing in the sand, playing at the water's edge. And I did not have a cell phone then. I took these with a camera, so you never know. All right. Now, the journaling. Where's my journaling? Because we have to make sure we have room for the journaling over here. Right? And I want to go around that. And I think I want to do it in the orange. Let me do this real quick. I think it'll look pretty in the orange. This will just take a second. But I want to make sure I get it done and I have it setting down so I know where to put this right here. All right. It never looks like there's any on there, but there's always plenty. Okay, let's just go around this real quick. The colors in this kit are so pretty. They're just vibrant. All right. You know how it is. Gotta cover this stuff up. All right, so this is gonna go here, and I'm gonna stamp beach time and put 2001. So we need to, this is what I'm gonna do, beach time, and we're gonna use this stamp set. It's called, I don't know if it has a name. There's no name on it, but it's called a summer stamp set. How about that? And I want to show you this right here. Because what is cool about this stamp set is look at all, now these are just some of the examples that Meredith gave, but look at the different things that you can create with this. You have the stamps, but you can also, you know, mix and match all the different words to create different phrases, you know, girls of summer, vacation time, boys of summer, summertime. I like this one, lazy days of summer. I didn't have a lot of room on here with 3 photos that I wanted to get in, so we're just going to do beach time, but there's a lot of potential with this. And so I'm going to put the numbers for the year up after we stamp this down. This is always kind of scary because I am going to stamp with y'all right there. I am actually going to turn off the filming while I do this. I'll be right back. I decided not to stamp this in real time because I would have had to put my head down right in front of you. So this worked out perfect. I don't have this set down yet, but look how pretty and clear it came out. And I used Spice Marmalade for time and Mowed Lawn to stamp beach. And again, this was the stamp set. Alrighty. So let's put our year down, 2001. And to make sure I get it straight, I always use a T-square. So we're just going to set this right here. And I want it, that's right there. I can come down a bit. There we go. See how I have it snug right up against the side? So it makes it easy. And it's also easier if you already have the numbers on your hand. Here we go. Put this right here. So I hope you all had a great 4th of July. We did. We went to the parade on Main Street. Oh my gosh, it was just, I just love how patriotic it is. The little kids and all the red, white, and blue. All the parents in red, white, and blue and flags waving. We just need positivity. All right, we're going to put this right here. All right, now let's put this down because nothing is going to go underneath it down in the middle. Okay, so we're going to put it about right here. I want it right up to the edge there. Make sure we're straight. Here we go. All right, now these, now okay, so here's my dilemma. This van was going only one way and I didn't want them over here. I wanted them right there. So I put the van on here because I liked it. And then I'm thinking in my head, well, okay, they're deciding whether they're going to the beach or they're going on an adventure, and they can always turn around, whatever choice they make. So there we go. There we go. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. You'll see when I put these little signs up, it looks kind of cute, actually. All right. Oof, don't drop it. And I should have put this one down first. Egads. Because I need to know how high up to put that one. So here we go. Let's do this one more time. This one is pointing to the beach. And it's going to go right there. This one is pointing away for on an adventure, which both of them are both. Kids anyways. Okay, see, that looks cute. That works. All right, now let's do the tags. So let's get Dwayne. This is my son Dwayne. And this ran out. Thankfully, I am ready. I'm going to put this, let's see. I need to fit the tags. I'll put it about right here because we also have our ephemera on that side. All right, there you go, Dwayne. Now, of course, we got to change this. Let's see if I can just do it in front of everybody and not go crazy. There it is. You just slip it right in there. It's the coolest thing. Of course, I'm on camera. Oh, all right, I got it on there. There we go. All right, let's do our tags. I want to set these aside right here. Let's keep that right there. Let's get the tags. All right. Now, I already put my string, but the one thing I want to add is some faux stitching, not with glue. You don't faux stitch with glue. Hello, Laura. All right. Let's make sure that's working. Okay. Let's hope it's working. And we're just going to go right here. There we go. Oh my gosh. Now, if you just go back and forth on it, you get a nice solid line. And it does not need to be perfect, does it? And I think this gel pen just ran out of ink. There we go. Come on now. I only want to do the top. Forgot this side. Actually, the pen wasn't working real good. See the difference that makes right there? We're going to do that real quick on this one. You cannot go wrong with a white gel pen. When you think of how much colored cardstock you use, and if you don't have a sewing machine, you can just stitch away. Now, there are a lot of talented crafters that will actually stitch on their pieces of paper. One day, I might do that. Now, y'all know what I did. I stuck that down. Before. All right, Dwayne, I gotta lift your head up a little bit. There we go. All right. Poor Dwayne. All right, I want this a little bit over that. Add a little bit of dimension. I'm gonna put this over here. Here we go. And sometimes, you know, I'll use glue dots if I want these in a specific or particular place, but I'm not concerned about that right now. And now we're going to take our little shell. Remember, I told you these were made out of fabric, which is so cool. We're going to stick this down just a little bit at the corner. And we do need to, you know what? I want to use a dimensional under this. Here we go. All right, we are almost done because we have the journaling done. We just have to do this neat little cluster down here at the bottom. And we're going to put the starfish right there. Now this is just from the packaging, and I rolled it around 3 fingers. I want it looking kind of willy-nilly and all over the place, right? Now I'm just going to get a glue dot and put it right there so that it'll hold it together enough that I can stick it under And glue dots come on a roll, or I've seen them a lot of different ways actually. But you just get it small enough and put it right underneath and roll it. And it's going to go underneath this one. And we are going to stick it right there after we kind of move things around. There we go. There. Oh, now see, doesn't that look so cool? Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, let's do this thing down here because this looks really cool too. So we have this really neat piece of chipboard, but it's also a sticker, so that's great. Now I'm not even going to worry about using a glue dot with this one because it's going to go under. Well, no, it's not, is it? Let me get another glue dot. It's going to go under the shells. So let's do that. Yep. You cannot have that glue dot. Okay, there we go. Again, you just roll it between the fingers, and then you got it. It's secure, so that you can stick it wherever you want to stick it. All right, so we're going to put this down, and it goes along here on the bottom. About, I don't want to cover up her shovel. I like her shovel. I'm going to put it right here. And then we have two more of these. Let's put these over here. Get this out of the way. Let's move these right over here. Gotta kind of make it looking nice, don't we? You guys are here for a reason. All right, so let's put this down. I really should be using Eileen's glue, but I don't have it. I think it's back behind my desk, so I couldn't get it right now if I wanted it. Oh, as ready as I try to be, people. It doesn't happen. All right, now this is gonna go here, and this is gonna go here, and that little string, I'm gonna put that right there, and I am gonna lift this up a little too, so it's right there. I almost put this in my mouth. That is too funny. Okay, this needs to be a little more wonka. All right, here we go. Now we'll put this down. All right, I like that. That obviously it needs to dry. So let's use, this will hold this better. Okay, boy, that bubbled up. Look at that. Look at that. All right, stick that right there. Let all of this dry. Let all that dry. Don't go anywhere. All right, now look at this cool piece. The little, wouldn't y'all like to be there? Wouldn't you like to be there? Oh, and I have a little bit of dimensional tape on the back of this because I want the umbrella to stick up a little bit. You could also do this were the top of a flower. I'm going to put this right at the end here, but up a little further. It's going to go right on the photograph, right there. And then we have this. Boy, it's still a little sticky. I'm going to put this underneath the word explore. Don't need to do every one. Okay. And it's going to go under here. There we go. Just like that. And then we have our yes, please. And I want to put it on a little bit of dimensional tape. We're going to go just like this. Put it on here. Don't stick it way on the end because then you got to try to cut it off. All right, here we go. Let's put this on there. Look, as neat as I try to be, everything is everywhere. I would love to know what your craft room looks like after you've been scrapbooking. I cannot be the only one that ends up having stuff all over the floor. All right, now we put down a few of these gems. You do need to use glue with them. So we're going to put one right there, stick it down. I am not going to lift up this page at the end of this video because you know this stuff is not stuck down yet. or dry. I'm going to put one up here. And we'll put one over here. And then we still got a couple more right here. These are so pretty. They look like sea glass, like I said. All right. Put one right here. Now the glue is on my fingers. So it's going all over the place. And we'll put one more right here. There we go. Now, I may decide later that I want to add more. Okay. All right, my friends, what do you think? I think it came together beautifully. I can lift it up. I'm just not going to lift the actual page up. But my favorite parts of this, I love how the stamping is in two different colors. And the journaling, let me read that to you. It seems ages ago that the year is actually 2001. Where and how does time fly by like this? So fast that it only leaves a whisper. Dwayne and Lauren would have been only 11 and 7 years old. And in this photo, we are in the Navy. We are a Navy family living in Chesapeake, Virginia. We had driven to Virginia Beach for an afternoon of fun with Marcelle and her children. I do remember it being a hot, hazy April day, but the kids were all having such a great time, and Lauren was still our little bow girl. I love how this came together down here. It's a nice little cluster. It kind of frames the bottom. I'm glad I added my van, even though he's leading the picture. I think the signs kind of make it okay. Like I said, I like how this came together. And then the tags up here on the top, I think they look good. This twine always adds so much to an actual layout. All right, my friends, that's it. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed it. I can't wait to hear from you in the comments below. And until we meet again, God bless, have an incredible day, and stay crafty.